In this video, I'm going to give you advice for what you need to do when you have only a week left until the SAT or the PSAT for that matter. Maybe you've left it to the last minute or you just haven't gotten that score improvement you want. Either way, this video is going to help you make the most of that time you have left in order to maximize your score. So the first thing that you should do is just take a baseline practice test. Maybe you've done that before, or you've taken the PSAT, or you've taken another SAT. Just have some kind of a baseline to know where you're starting from. After that, compare that to the colleges that you're interested in attending. What is their median score? 25 percentile and 75 percentile school. If you fall in the 25 percentile or above, honestly, I wouldn't sweat it too much. But if you are below, then you are probably going to be looking for a score improvement. So if you're looking for a score improvement of 50 or below points, I'd only recommend really studying an hour a day for that remaining week, because you've got a little bit of chance in the equation. It's very likely you could just score that 50 points extra without studying, but you don't want to leave it up to chance. Study an extra hour each day and you should be able to make it. If you are looking for a score improvement that's above 50 points, I'd suggest spending 2 hours every single day grinding it out. If you have more time, you can do that. I wouldn't suggest sitting down for more than 2 hours at once, spending like 2 hours in the evening and 1 hour in the morning, that type of thing. Though, if you're not on school break, it'd be difficult to do that. Definitely taking advantage of the school breaks is key. But spending a lot of extra time if you're looking for more than a 50-point improvement. If you're looking for more than 100 points, then I'd suggest trying to retake the exam and also considering applying test optional if that school allows you to. That's not saying that you might not be able to get a 100-point improvement, but it's just worth planning ahead in case you don't, because most students won't. However, if you are diligent, it's more than possible. Students have done it before. So with that said, let's get into the nitty-gritty. How do you study? What should you study? First, you should pick the section that you struggled on the most, your lower score, and study solely on that for the whole week. Don't study on both sections, just pick that one. If your two sections were fairly equal, I'd generally suggest picking the math. It's a little bit easier to improve, and generally the more selective institutions are going to want you to have a higher math score than an English score, or they're going to prioritize that. So make sure that you pick the section that you're the weakest on that's going to allow you to improve your score the most. And if there wasn't really a weakest section, go ahead and pick math, because that's easier to improve in a short amount of time. If you chose the English section to study and improve in a week, then go ahead and keep listening. If you chose the math section, then skip ahead to this timestamp here. All right, so anyway, the English section. What should you do? So there's several resources that you can use. First and most important is definitely going to be Khan Academy. You don't even have to create an account. That can be helpful so you can save your data as you go along. It's also helpful for studying for AP exams and that type of thing. But anyway, go ahead and start working through the videos. I would suggest starting to work with the writing section first, because it's easier to improve your writing score than your reading score, which is the first task of every SAT English module. I'd suggest working through them in 7 different segments lined out for the 7 different days of the week. You can skip a segment of the ones I'm about to suggest if you feel confident on it based on your experience with practice tests and taking the real SAT in the past. First, I suggest working through verbs videos on Khan Academy, through drills on Khan Academy, through sample problems on College Board's Question Bank, which is another great resource, and then also YouTube videos that give you tricks on the verb section. I actually have some myself on my channel, so go check that out. The second section I'd recommend working on is the punctuation section, and doing the same things for the verbs on that section will help you out a lot. Third is transitions. That's day 3. Fourth is the bullet points. And again, you can skip any of those sections that are unnecessary for you and spend some extra time taking more practice tests or really focusing on one of the sections that's bogging you down. But those are the 4 writing sections. Once you get through those, I'd suggest working on the reading sections in this order. First, the main ideas passages, because those are going to be the easiest reading section for you to really improve. Second, vocab, because that's the second easiest. And then third are your inference texts that are asking you to make conclusions, that type of thing. That's really the hardest part of all of English to improve. It generally gets students stuck the most. And also, as a general tip for SAT English, don't forget to watch YouTube videos giving you general tips, such as skip the problems that are hardest for you. If inference questions with the SAT get you every time and they make you slow down and you can't finish the module because of them, then skip them and come back to them once you've answered all the rest of the problems. Don't let one problem drag your time down. But anyway, those are the 7 sections that you can study in 7 days in order to help you improve your score. So, all right, and now we're back for math. If you are going to be studying the SAT math section, then just like the English section, you should break down what you're studying into several different parts. You can, in fact, find the areas that you're weakest in on your SAT Blue Book practice test or your latest SAT, where they break down the content that you struggled on the most in helpful little bars. So make sure you go back to your previous exams and check those out. The sections are algebra, geometry and trigonometry, problem solving and data analysis, and advanced math. So whichever sections of those that you're weakest on, it's important to study those first. Additionally, if you are perfect on any of those sections, then it's really not worth studying. Don't forget that all those sections have a percentage next to them telling you how many problems on the exam, or approximately how many problems on the exam, cover that content. So the greater the percentage, the more important it is that you've mastered those concepts. The places I recommend for studying those 4 categories are Khan Academy. Once again, if you have a score that's 650 to 600 or below, once you get above that, in my opinion, the math hasn't been as helpful. It's a little bit more basic. But again, just drilling, listening to their videos can be really helpful if your score isn't already starting pretty high. If your score is quite a bit higher, then I'd really recommend using old SAT paper practice tests, which I know sounds weird, but I recommended other videos too. You can find it still online, maybe even at your school library or something, because just going through these has really helped me to be able to increase my time significantly. Also, it's important that you use Blue Book practice tests. Yes, for the English as well, but especially for the math, if you're scoring high already, take as many practice tests in the math section as you can and drill those problems you get wrong. Do them over and over again until you know exactly how to approach them the moment you see them, and you wouldn't be stumped by them at all on SAT Math Day. Also, it's important to identify with math, especially what's bugging you the most. Is it Module 2 and you're almost always completely fine on Module 1? Because if so, you really only need to practice Module 2 type problems, which is where YouTube videos can come in helpful, as they give you tips to how to solve some of the hardest SAT problems. So anyway, those are some quick tips to help you figure out how much time you need to be studying, what you should be studying, what materials to use, and how you should allocate your time to different topics, whether you're studying English or math in that remaining week, not both preferably, because it'll really allow you to cement those concepts in order to maximize your SAT score. If you found this video helpful, or if you're looking for some of those YouTube videos to help you with studying, then please subscribe. I have tons of videos showing you quick tricks and tips that I have used in order to get a 780 on SAT Math and a 790 on SAT Evidence-Based Reading and Writing. So this is a part of my college applications too, and I appreciate it if you'd support me by engaging, or feel free to comment and ask me to make a video specifically for you, because I'll do that. Anyway, I hope this video helps you a lot, and I hope it helps you to be able to increase your SAT score. So thank you guys so much for watching, and good luck on your next SAT.